Morning, y'all. Well, sun came up, and here we are. 1,201 no's to 651 yeses. 651 yeses. That's scary. This bond was full of pork, and there was no way it was going to pass. I didn't do this. I didn't do this at all. 1,200 votes? I don't sway 1,200 votes. Y'all got to know better than that. Maybe 100, maybe 200 tops. But what happened was every property owner, every business owner, who, by the way, can't come out and say what I've said. They can't come out and say that they're against a pork-filled bond because the school district is the second largest employer in the county, and business owners don't want to lose that business. But I guarantee you, the majority of the business owners in town and the majority of the property owners who own more than one piece of property, they were all no votes. With me or without me, they were all no votes. Some other things that pushed this thing was the way that some school district employees were treating people on social media. You push somebody hard enough and say you hate kids hard enough, you're gonna guarantee they vote no. Some other things that probably y'all don't know that goes on behind an election like this. Have you ever heard of the Freedom of Information Act or Open Record Request? Well, this is what one looks like. Okay, this is a Freedom of Information request on the election that I put in at the election center after early voting. It's a copy of all the emails, all communications between the entities who were on the ballot, the city, the school, everyone. And there's lots of red flags in here. One of the things that really set me off, besides rewarding teachers for voting early with Jeans Week, and besides giving A's to kids, an A grade to kids who got their parents to go vote, besides all the snide remarks on social media to every person who expressed dismay in this huge bond and the debt it saddled many generations to come with, was there's a piece in here, there's an email in here where the actual form of the ballot was approved by BSISD's lawyers in San Antonio. They looked at the way the ballot was worded, they approved it, they sent it back to Jody and told her, use this. But the law had changed. The law has changed to where one sentence has to be in bold letters. That sentence is, this is a tax increase. It must be on there. It must be all caps or a different font that is different than the rest of the ballot. And we didn't do that. So had this passed, I could have filed lawsuit tomorrow morning in district court on form and procedure because the people who are advising the school district advised them wrong. And we paid for that. This election was over $45,000, I know. So we paid for that. Is it a celebration that we won and this bond got voted down? No, it's not. It's not a celebration because the school district's been ignoring this school for years in hopes of showing us the bad part of it so they can build a new one. They get $37 million a year from Howard County taxpayers, straight up. Most people knew that if the price of oil dropped, the 31.8 cent number that they were touting per hundred that it would cost would go up. And it would go way up. So that's the reason this bond failed. It wasn't me. It wasn't social media. It wasn't lies. It wasn't disinformation. It was truth. And there's a lot of it in here, Jay. There's a lot of truth in here. There's a lot of things in here that I find issue with. Enough that I've been concentrating for the last decade on the city of Big Spring because they passed the laws. But I think maybe I need to shift my focus to the school district because you educate our kids. I was friends with a man who worked at the school for years and years who recently passed away. We've been friends for a long time. Y'all called him Sparks or Coach Sparks. I called him John Richard. And not just this administration, but many administrations before, going back 2, 3. John Richard expressed dismay on how much money got shuttled out of maintenance into athletics. Football, athletics is a big thing. And while it makes for well-rounded kids, I don't know that it should be what we spend the most money on. I would rather see the school district spend the most money on giving these kids a better education to improve our state ranking in the school. We are a government school. We teach to the STAR test. The STAR test should be the bare minimum. We should blow by the STAR test so bad that you don't even think about it. That shouldn't be the goal. We shouldn't be teaching to the STAR test. We should be teaching way past the STAR test. I can go on and on, but I do know this. I am now interested. You have piqued my interest. So I will be doing some freedom of information requests at the school district. We're going to find out some of this stuff. We're going to find out why the $1,023,000 that they received in 2019 has not been used to address the draining that was around the elementary that is part of this bond issue. We're going to address a bunch of stuff. We're going to ask some questions that should have been being asked by our school board. Okay? That's what the school board is for. They're not to rubber stamp whatever administration wants. They are there to ask the hard questions and make sure that common sense is used. Was common sense used in this bond? Was it? I don't think so. Anyway, the sun came up. And while most people would like to think that this town will never grow, and it's very, very sad, this town is going to grow. It is growing. Our census shows 20,000 people. If you count the man camps and the RV parks around us, we're well over 30. We got to figure out a way to make that pay. We got to figure out a way to add that to the tax base on an income basis, to where those RV parks and man camps are contributing to the infrastructure in the schools of this town. That's a whole nother issue. And there's a whole lot of issues in Howard County right now. Hospital district, ESDs, bad water, bad roads, bad infrastructure. Guy like me stays busy, just going meeting to meeting and figuring out what the heck's going on and bringing it to y'all. My suggestion to the school district is come back with a bond to fix the current school, not to tear it down after we've spent millions on it. If you do decide you want to build a new school, don't put it on the ravine that the junior high is sitting on. Y'all understand, water always wins. That water that is running under and creating the problem in the ravine that is sinking the junior high school runs underneath Blankenship Field too. You're going to have to pick another spot. Anyway, it is what it is. Great day to be alive. And just thank you, Big Spring, for voting no on this. It's not something we need to be celebrating. It is something we've got to do something. We've got to do something about the high school. The sewage smell, the black mold, that's got to be addressed. Not being able to change from heating to cooling in less than 3 days in Big Spring, where the same day you can have 20-degree weather and 70-degree weather. It'll sleet and snow and the sun will come out and you can get a sunburn on the same day. It's been this way my whole life. We hadn't addressed the asbestos in well over 30 years. It's time to do that. It's time to start looking at spending some of this money in a way that helps these kids in this school building that we're in now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Big Spring. Wasn't me. I'm just a guy that put my face out there. The couple of hundred of you that I swayed to vote no by giving you information that the school should have given you, thank you. The rest of you that went and voted because you knew it was pork, thank you too. This will be my last video for a while, probably till close to November. I'm hoping, unless something else comes up. It's my job, I feel like it's my job, to inform those of you that can't spend the time I can spend digging in through this stuff. So, thank you very much. Appreciate you, Big Spring. Big Spring Independent School District. Mr. McWilliams, Mr. Perez, the rest of you, Mr. Adams. By the way, kudos to you. Stand up, dude. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Bring us something. Be transparent about it. Tell everything you need to know. By the way, I don't even think you carried your 60 all of your 60 members on your committee on this. You know dang good and well you didn't carry all your employees. Not if just 600 voted for. Thanks again. See you next time. I'll be here.